What is going on, guys? Ryan the Professional back again with another video. Let's go on and get into it. So this right here pretty much confirms what we already known for years. But if you did not know and you needed confirmation, here it is. According to this article, the PS3 price reveal was a horrifying moment for Shuhei Yoshida. Now, obviously, before Shuhei Yoshida was the president of Worldwide Studios of Sony, that he is now, he was basically, in the lower ranks in a sense, right? He was in the hardware department and he was in the marketings and whatnot. He wasn't really a president of the studios yet. He was still there. The same thing can be said about what's his name? Kazurai and Andrew House before they were in their respective roles that they were this generation. But when it came to this generation compared to last gen, we had the father of PlayStation, Ken Kutaragi, who created PlayStation basically, his vision for the PlayStation 3. Now, granted that the PlayStation 3 was a good console. It was a good console in terms of delivering those first-party experiences and definitely showing graphical jumps that were great. It definitely was a nice investment for that. Unfortunately, Ken Kutaragi's vision was definitely a little obscured. You see, Ken Kutaragi went with the full hardcore, AAA in-your-face experience with the Power Art initiative instead of a good balance of social interactions and, a good network as well as those interactions. That's basically what Ken Kutaragi messed up with in terms of his vision. You see, there was a lot of models. A lot of people didn't know about this, but there was a lot of models on the stage or in the boardroom. They even talked about this in numerous, interviews. But basically, they said before they had the PlayStation 3, they actually had a beefier PS2, and that was going to be the PlayStation 3. Basically, a PS2 on steroids in a sense. The same functions, a few improvements such as the hard drive integration, obviously, but really that's what they were going to go with. But Ken Kutaragi wanted to go with the full power and take advantage of Blu-ray. Now, Blu-ray was a new technology at that time. It was very expensive, and with Blu-ray in general, that was, it's a nice investment. You look at it now, it was a nice investment over time, but it definitely cost them more money in the long run if you thought about it. Now, of course, they made that money back tenfold. They're fine. But that's what they went with. They went with the power, and I remember that event like it was yesterday. I remember I was looking at the console. I was like, damn, these games look great. I was definitely excited until he said $600. And I was like, what? I was not expecting a $600 price tag. And you know what's funny? Even the lead system architect, Mark Cerny, came out and said he was not expecting a $600 price tag for the PlayStation 3. But, hey, that's what they went with. And even he can tell you, even he said, in numerous interviews, that the PlayStation 3 still can provide you a great experience. The PlayStation 3 definitely has a lot to offer. And or still had a lot to offer. The problem with the PlayStation 3, if I remember correctly, was the fact that the GPU wasn't that great or something like that. That's what they said. The CPU was actually pretty good in the PlayStation 3. But as far as this being a horrifying moment, hey, it happens, man. And the reason why I'm covering this video is very simple. I want everybody to understand, man, it doesn't matter who won the previous generation. All it takes is one screw up and you're back to square one. Listen, did you guys even think that Sony would come out with the PlayStation 3 in the state that it was when it first dropped? Did you guys really think that at first when you first saw the PS2, especially when you jumping from the PlayStation 2 to the PS3? Did you guys really expect that sort of thing? Because I'm telling you right now, after what Sony did and the miracles they performed with the PlayStation 2, with the numerous games and third-party deals, it was a given that Sony was not going to do that. It just, a lot of us automatically, it clicked in our minds like, nah, there's no way Sony's going to do that. Sony's just the king, right? They're doing everything right. And for them to go from the PlayStation 2, which they were the kings, you know what I'm saying? They still were the kings of, and just having all these crazy accolades like the PlayStation 2 selling over 150 million units worldwide. All these things working, in their favor, and then they slowly destroyed that one thing with a $600 price tag and arrogance. Yes, Sony was arrogant at the start of the PlayStation 3's life cycle by saying that people are going to work not one but two jobs. They're going to buy this. We're not worried about it. Remember that? It's a long Hey, it happens, man. And that, you know, arrogance, and it seems like that always plagues the winner. You think about it. You look at Sony with the PlayStation 2 to the PS3. You look at Microsoft, even though the Xbox 360 did lose to the PlayStation 3 at the very, very end, but still, the 360 was a dominant figure for the most of that generation. The 360, yes, it lost in the overall sales department at the end, but let's be real here, the 360 definitely brought the heat to Sony, and it definitely gave us a better, more focused Sony than we did beforehand. But with the 360 to what we have now at the Xbox One, what did they do? What was the first thing they started talking about with the Xbox One from the 360? They started talking about Call of Duty. They started talking about Xbox Live. They started talking about DLC for Call of Duty, still exclusive. You know, at an Xbox event, it's like, guys, we don't care about that for the actual event. We don't care about that right now. And that's what they were focusing on. Then they went to TV shows and saying that they're focusing on making their very games into those TV shows. And, you know, of course, Adam Orff didn't help the cause because he came out and said, you know, if you guys don't like this, you can hashtag deal with it. Remember that? I mean, the list goes on of things that happened with Sony, or sorry, with Microsoft, you know, compared from the 360. And that's just the law of the jungle. Every one of these companies are out for your money at the end of the day. Microsoft's going to screw up, Sony was going to screw up, and they all are going to eventually show those true colors at one form or another. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, it just comes down to the games. And some people just are forgetting that. They really are forgetting that. I don't really care as much about new consoles right now. I really do not. But I already know people are already getting those expectations very high. I see a lot of people, you know, making absurd things about these consoles and a lot of weird specifications. It's just like, let's just wait for them to say something, okay? Let's just wait, okay? Let's not speculate. Because you know what happened when we speculated with the PS3, the PS2, or actually, no, actually, let me rephrase that. But y'all know what happened when we speculated with the Xbox One X, aka the Scorpio. That's a better example. And yeah, that console has paid the price for a lot of us over speculating that console, and a lot of people coming out with numerous claims, a lot of lies going around, right, saying that it was going to do X amount of things, and that just painted a bad picture for the console in general. So that's basically that. I just wanted to cover that. It's very simple. Sony, you know, hey, Sony just came out and confirmed something that we already knew. Good to see that they're in better, you know, a better shape than they were before. I'm happy for them. As far as, you know, this situation, hey, they came a long way from it. As far as them repeating it, I don't really see it with the PlayStation 5. I don't see them repeating it because they are a lot smarter this gen. Going into the next one, you know, they're definitely investing in what matters. They say it all the time, first party content. Deals. So I have no doubts. I have no fear for the PS5, and I'll definitely own the PS5. You know what I'm saying? I have no doubts for it. They got Mark Cerny behind this, and Mark Cerny obviously is the man to go to when it comes to Sony. So hey, I think they're fine. But Microsoft, again, if they're going to make another console, like another traditional console, and not make it like a Steam device, in terms of the hardware specifications, I mean, most likely they're just going to copy and paste from the One X to the PS, you know, to compete the PS5, just beef a few things up. That's pretty much what they're going to go for. I mean, not much really you can go wrong there, right? It just comes down to the actual software when it comes to Microsoft. So not really worried about either console in the failure or performance category as much. So, and that's it though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to break these consoles down. I really don't feel like it. I'll just have to wait and see, like everybody else, until we get the finished products and the coming dates. But that's it. If you guys like the video, you know what to do. I'm Ryan the Professional. If you guys are new, definitely hit that subscribe button. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'm out of here. Deuces.